wanted to make a video to explain why I'm doing what I'm doing, why you guys see me every day popping in randomly and all this shit. I mean, it's obvious what I'm trying to do, but the reason why goes back to my childhood, and I can remember it. When I was 5, when I was young, like, I had a famous baseball player. He was a pitcher. He pitched for the A's, he pitched for the Mets in the World Series, he pitched for the Expos, the Blue Jays, but I didn't know him, so there was this legend in my family of him, right? So everyone in my family, you know, it was a point of pride of our family, you know, one of us made it. And I remember, you know, 5 years old, I remember that, like, and I would tell everybody. I think I still do to some extent, but it was just, you know, something cool to talk about, and you could see him on TV, and then he was commentating for sports for a long time after that. And when I remember going into baseball, starting baseball, that was my sport. I started, and I always had, that was my approach to everything, because it started then in baseball, and I was really good at baseball, and so I thought, you know, I always thought that would be the thing. And then, so I always had this internal feeling, this attention-seeking, just proclivity. I have it. And for most of my life, most people around me were telling me that that's not cool. You shouldn't seek out attention and all this stuff. So it kind of, you know, beat me down over the years, but it never went away. So it's just one of those things. Like, I have this weird desire that I want to be accepted, and I want to be looked at as something special. I don't think I am. Like, I don't feel like I am, but that feeling never went away. And over the last few years, well, before that, since I screwed up a lot of my adult life, especially in the beginning. A lot of alcohol, mostly alcohol and drugs, and a lot of poor decisions. I made a lot of poor decisions, and it beat me down. But since, you know, I started to grow up and I kind of got over that, that feeling is still there. Like, I still want the attention. I feel like I have something. I feel like, and that's always been true. I've always felt like I had something to say. I just didn't know how to say it. And as far as the content is concerned, I have been creating content since I was probably 14 or 15. I can remember we had a camcorder that my parents bought for recording my brother's football games. And after my brother was done playing football, I used to take it all the time. And what I primarily used it for was to record me and my friends rolling blunts. And one video was me and my buddy Jason standing at a certain distance apart and trying to hit each other in the head with a rock. And the deal was you couldn't move. So that was, you know, some of the early content. The thing about it is there was no platform for the stuff I was doing yet. Also, and that's how my music career began. I met a guy named Lonnie Doyle, and we started hanging out, and he rapped. And I heard him rap a few times. I'm like, man, I could do that. And then I kind of got involved in just trying to rap. And then you need a beat for music. So how I would do that is I listened to other people around me, and I learned that you could do it with a tape deck and just take small sections of songs that don't have any words in it and loop them back to back. Now the process was horrible because you had to use 2 tapes, and you'd have to pick one section, you'd have to time it perfectly for the loop, and then rewind it, do it again, pause, stop, or record, stop. So that's how I made, I don't know, probably like 30 to 50 songs. Like, I probably wrote 4 or 5 rap albums that were really dope. I just have no idea where they're at now because they're all on cassette tapes, and they all have like backup vocals and all that stuff, but the recording quality is horrible because every time you transpose another track onto a cassette tape, that's how I started making music, was just looping sections of songs to make my beats so I could write raps to it. And then, you know, I was rapping for a while, and then my buddy Jason, same guy, he was working with this drummer of this. They were looking for a singer, and so my buddy wanted to audition. And Jason, you know you can't sing, but he wanted me to go with him, probably to make him feel better. And I also wanted to try.
Take the exit.
And I knew that. And so we went, and I don't remember what we sang, but they ended up wanting me to come back. I think the name of the band at the time was Arcanian Mist, and which later would become Days 11. We played for 17 years, something like that. But, you know, when I got into the band, I was 19, I believe. I picked up a guitar, and I started watching my guitar player. Rest in peace, Dave. And I learned so much from him, just watching him play in the band. And during the time of the band, I still wanted to be famous. Of course we wanted to be famous. We had a couple brushes with, you know, some opportunities that I screwed up because of alcohol and drugs. We had a real shot, a real opportunity with Linkin Park and Chester Bennington. He wrote us a handwritten note to our band, and he called out the song Desire that I wrote, the words to. David wrote the music, we all wrote the music, but it's really cool, and he gave us a bunch of autographed pictures and a bunch of unreleased Linkin Park songs on CD, and for whatever reason he couldn't make it happen at that time, but I was so involved in meth and alcohol and girls that I fucked it up. But that feeling was, you know, it never ever goes away. I just never knew how to capitalize on it. And in other content, I have been journaling since I was young, since I was in my teenage years. So that's just another thing. Reading and writing have always fascinated me. I was really good at writing in high school, like creative writing. And yeah, so that's kind of why I'm doing this now, is because it's always been my dream. It's always been my dream just to be something noteworthy. I want to make an impact on this world, a positive impact on this world. I want people to feel my music. You know, I hope I can connect through my music and relate to people, you know, through my writing and relate to people. And ultimately help somebody else. Because how I was able to help myself, and I fought it for years, like quitting drinking and drugs, is I had to shut the fuck up and start listening to other people's experiences. I had to start learning from other people's experience. The thing about alcoholics is we're so self-centered and selfish that we think we know everything already. So it took a lot, you know, I was 38 when I quit. It took a lot for me to be like, okay, maybe I don't have this figured out. But, you know, since it was a massive upgrade, quitting drinking, my brain, it works now. It's still a little, it's very crazy, but I have a focus and I have a direction, and I'm going that direction every single day of my life. And now I feel I've reached a tipping point. Like, people are reaching out to me in the community. People are reaching out to me from my past. People who are doing good things in the world are starting to just come to me organically and naturally. I'm not reaching out. Even conversations like in the gym and stuff, I'm generating a lot of creative ideas through the people that I'm around all the time. And it's because I'm doing it on purpose. I'm intentionally in this world. Every time I'm in public, I am looking for an opportunity. I want to meet you. I want to talk. Maybe you have something that we can work together with. Maybe not. But I'm never going to know unless I try to talk to everybody. And so that's kind of where I'm at now. Yeah, my attention seeking does come from childhood, and it comes from this desire to be a famous baseball pitcher. And then, you know, when I started rapping, I wanted to be Tupac. And then when I started, I wanted to be Korn and Limp Bizkit and Tool. Like, there's always something that I'm going for. That is never